I'm going to multiply these two rational expressions. Now, I don't want to see anyone ever just immediately starting to distribute and FOIL and try to multiply these terms. That is not what we're going to do. It's going to go in the exact opposite direction that we want to go because we want our answer to be as simplified as possible. So do not just start multiplying things together. What we're going to do is factor as much as possible. Just get used to factoring whenever you can when you see rational expressions, either just to simplify them or multiply them together and then simplify. So I'm going to start with 10x minus 40. You figure out how to factor that if possible. And I know that these are both divisible by 10, so I'm going to take a 10 out of both terms. 10x divided by 10 leaves me with x. 40 divided by 10 just leaves me with 4. So you have x minus 4 left in the parentheses. Next, we're going to try to factor x squared minus 6x plus 8 if that's possible. It is. You're looking for two numbers that multiply to 8 and add to negative 6. Those two numbers would be negative 4 and negative 2. Moving on to x plus 3. Try to factor it. Nothing can be taken out. Nothing can be done here. So x plus 3 just remains x plus 3. And then finally, 5x plus 15. Try to take something out if you can. These are both divisible by 5. So that would leave me with x plus 3 in the parentheses after dividing both terms by 5. So I'm going to show you what happens here, and then I will break it down a little slower in a few minutes if you need more explanation. If you see any factors that match in the numerators with any factors that match in the denominators, then you can cross them out. So you'll notice there are multiple x minus 4s in there and multiple x plus 3s in there. So the x minus 4 over x minus 4 can cancel, along with the x plus 3s. Now, they do not have to be directly on top of each other. If one of the x plus 3s was in the top right-hand corner, but another x plus 3 was in the bottom left-hand corner, you can still cross those out, as long as one of them is somewhere on the top and one of them is somewhere on the bottom. Now, what you can do is just immediately multiply straight across, or you may notice that there's a 10 somewhere in the numerator and a 5 somewhere in the denominator. You can go ahead and reduce that as well. 10 over 5 is the same thing as 2 or 2 over 1. So those will also simplify. This leaves me with nothing but 2 in the numerator. Everything else has been crossed out. And then in the denominator, I've got an x minus 2 and a 1 multiplied, so I'm just left with x minus 2. And that would be your final answer. So I find that some people don't like to see just all the different expressions. So if it helps, instead of immediately crossing stuff out, you can write one huge expression. So multiplying straight across, I'm just combining everything in the numerator, and I'm going to do the same thing in the denominator. So that's just what I had before I started crossing stuff out. So now you can see that I have a bunch of stuff in the numerator, a bunch of stuff in the denominator, and then what I did was I just started crossing stuff out until I was left with the answer that I just circled.